Whew, shoo-wee. So I shared with you guys yesterday that I finally passed my PMP professional exam certification. It took me, I actually took the boot camp last February of 2020 pre-COVID. And this was my third crack at it. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But
oh, yes, we will, by the way, because I have a very special fun fact for you on Fun Fact Friday later on that has to do with just such a topic.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. I was trying to figure out which beer I'm going to crack. I'll go with the East Coast Lager by Cricket Hill.
Ooh, that was crisp.
I know.
Yeah, that was.
It's a celebration, bitches. I passed the exam. So, mind you, it's 180 questions over the course of, I can't remember how many minutes they give you. They give you 4 hours worth, 240 minutes. And you can use as much or as little time as you want. After 60 questions, you can opt for a 10-minute break in which you can't leave your desk chair. You have to stay planted in front of the webcam the entire time. You can't use your phone. So you basically, I just try to meditate, pep talk myself. Anywho, when you're done, the last stage or the 180th question, it gives you the prompt, basically point of no return. You can't go back and review any questions after this. You are submitting this. This is going through the matrix machine and being checked. Like, yes. And it's thorough, and I get it. That makes sense. And I clicked yes. I was done. And immediately, it's within a couple seconds, it spits out the results. And it said, congratulations. I was like, oh, motherfucker. Got up, sprung up out of this very chair here, walked upstairs, grabbed a beer, slammed about 3/4 of it, walked downstairs, had my phone out, and was about ready to take a picture of the congratulations, and not realizing that I still hadn't officially exited out of the testing program. So immediately a text box pops up, similar to AOL-IM, and it's another person who's watching me on the webcam, says, why did you leave your seat? Why did you leave the field of view from the webcam? Why do you have your phone out? These are all violations of protocol of the test. I was like, oh man, I'm typing. And it's just like, the test is done. It said, you can see it. No, I can't see your computer screen. I see you. It's like, the test is over with. I promise you. I'm celebrating. I take a picture. I was going to send it to my mom. I'm really sorry. And They said if the test is over, exit the testing, whatever it is, but proxy right now, and exit. And they sent me an email about 90 seconds later that said congratulations. But I tell you what, man, my asshole could have cracked 15 walnuts. I was like, oh. And I was thinking, like, if they fail me on a technicality, I'm gonna have to do the podcast with 2 fucking casts on my wrist because I'm gonna break every bone in my hand and forearms from punching everything that I can fucking humanly possibly punch. Oh, but passed. Whew, God.
Yeah, no, I trust that to be true. I remember I had to take a exam, and congratulations, by the way, before I continue with this story. I had to take an exam, and I had probably drank myself, I don't know, an extra liver the night before, and this was down at College Park. And I had just violent diarrhea, and we just started like 5 minutes in, and I call the proctor over or whatever, and I'm like, listen, I have explosive diarrhea. Like I will be right back. I'm talking, this will be less than 5 minutes. Whatever's coming out of me is going to vacate promptly, and I'll be right back in the chair. Well, once we've started the exam, you can't leave the room. I said, I will give you my paper. We didn't even have phones at this time. This is internet-based cell phones. Okay, we had cell phones so we could make phone calls on. I'll leave everything in this room. I'm sorry. I had to squeeze my butt cheeks together for another, 75 minutes? I still failed that fucker because I was sweating. It was like poop was literally coming out of the pores of my skin, how bad I had to take crap in those first 5 minutes.
Whew. Butthole squeezing for different reasons. That's gross.
That's brutal. No, I don't have a good story like that. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good. Yeah. I if I had failed this, because you can take the exam 3 times. There's been a little bit of leeway. You're supposed to take it. You have up to a year after you finish the boot camp, because of COVID and because of other, just their change in the status quo of how they administered this test. They were a little bit lenient this year. and last year and this year. But if you have 3 cracks at it, if you don't complete or if you don't pass it within 3 tries, you have to wait a year to take it again. So I would have had to wait till September of 2022 in order to do that, and I would have had to go into the boot camp again, which is about $1,900 and 4 days worth. Yeah, 35 hours.
Sounds like a racket. It sounds a lot like certifications for my industry as well.
Listen, it is 1,000%. In
these associations,
it's 1,000% a racket. It's a total money grab. You don't. I won't say you don't learn anything, but anybody out there that gains certification like this knows exactly what it is. You spend money to put that little, 2 or 3 letter thing on your resume or some sort of hyphenated thing, and an employer goes, "Ooh, look at this! This is a go-getter. He wants it. She wants it."
So does this now mean you are officially capable of being a manager of men and women of all walks of life? Is that what this means officially?
Projects, in which we do have resources, as they call them, that sometimes can be men or women that are performing various tasks throughout the life of the project.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You are fresh off of this fucking thing, aren't you?
Right.
The terminology is just bleeding out of you.
Waist deep.
I really like, and no offense to you, and I'm sure I'd fail, but I would. This is a situation where I would really like to take the test just to see the misery that you've been through and how close to success I could get just fresh out. I know I wouldn't know any of the terminology, so
sure.
I'd be guessing on 80%. But I'd really like to give it a go.
Well, yes, and they certainly they give you a lot of situational stuff, and what they try to do, and what I learned over failing this 2 times, you want to pick the best 2 answers and then go from there. So you make it a 25% guess to a 50% guess, at least in theory. What they really try to do is they try to give you one of those 2 answers is, and it's called PMBOK, which is the Guide to Professional Management, Project Management Book of Knowledge. And there's a correct, very mechanical, I'm a stupid robot and I've read this book cover to cover answer. And then there's a human answer that has human-like elements and emotions in ways that people deal with problems on a professional level on a day-to-day basis. Those are all wrong. It's always the guide. I'm an idiot robot. I know how to manage people because I read this 700-page book and it tells me how to do things in any situation. And unfortunately that's the way you got to answer those questions.
Yeah. Well, I know the answer to this. I cannot remember the specific company. It's probably better that I don't, but I know the right answer. We'll let Alan know. We'll let Alan start. I'll get both your answers. You are willed an elephant in an uncle's, final days. He passes, the will is read. You were given an elephant. You cannot sell the elephant, and you cannot give the elephant away. What do you do with the elephant? There's only one right answer, and this answer gets you hired.
You willed as in you were given a carcass to an elephant?
No. You are given an elephant.
Okay.
A live elephant in the will of a deceased relative.
Oh, got you.
You cannot sell it nor give it away. What do you do with the elephant? There's one correct answer.
Feed it.
Kill it.
Well, sorry, fellas. You actually
neither of us get the job.
The correct answer is you are to start a party service where you rent the elephant out for an income. You can hire someone to take care of the elephant, but you are to use it for parties and circuses which come to town and fairs and such.
Yeah.
And it proves that you have an entrepreneurial spirit and that you can make do with something that would be not cost effective for you to keep, but cost efficient for you to rent out.
Pause. So if I said that I would kill it, but then I followed it up with, which is what I would have followed it up with to sell it for parts because ivory is lucrative on the black market. Rich people turn fucking all 4 legs into coffee tables. Shit like that. Like if I said that to you, That's still entrepreneurial spirit with some illegalities. But you know.
Well, Alan, I will give you half credit for your answer, because that too, when it was asked to me, was my answer. I said I would start a backyard barbecue selling exotic elephant meat, where I would also sell the tusks and, yes, make ashtrays and ottomans out of the legs and balls.
Yeah. I'm sure creating it in an entrepreneurial spirit, I'm sure the insurance policy that comes along with this, just in case the fact that wild beast decides to go AWOL on a bunch of little kids at a birthday party and stomps them all into the fucking mush, and then gives out a Dumbo. Then comes the trank guns.
You know those motherfuckers run like 35 miles an hour too.
Oh,
it's insane. That's insane to me.
Yeah, I think I was a kid watching one. It's like Animals Gone Wild or Animals Gone Berserk or something.
I think I saw Animals Gone Wild when I was in high school. Ooh, what they did to that chicken was not a pretty sight.
Right. Well, this thing it was a full-grown bull elephant in a zoo somewhere in India or Pakistan, and it starts rampaging through the town. And I remember my father like, "Oh yeah, when those things get pissed off, there's no stopping them. It's a fucking armored tank just running through." And that thing purposely was bowling down on top of people, using its tusks to do whatever it could to kill anything in its sight, anything in its in his path. Man, that was ugly.
No, there's not a goddamn thing. I was listening to a podcast, again, not Joe Rogan, and
was it Brian Fellows?
Brian Fellows, have you ever seen a man ride a horse? It's crazy. And they were talking about, like, you know, people riding horses. Like, we're so deep into the game now. Like, there was a time where people were fighting off a horseback, and there was a time where people had never seen people fight off a horseback. They're like, "Hey, what's that giant fucking animal coming this way? Does that guy have an arrow?" Yeah. And then they're here on the ground dead. And it took like 100 years for people to figure out how to fight people on horseback. And then I started thinking about fucking, like, you know, elephants coming over the Alps and Hannibal fucking like saying, "Get them sons of bitches. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Die."
Yeah. Turn, and hopefully the animal that you're on horseback runs faster than, or pulling whatever contraption you have runs faster than an elephant. Ugh.
Yeah, there's a great new that you guys bring up. We brought up some interesting points. There's a great new series on, I think it's on Netflix, maybe on Hulu. I'll get back to you on that one. But it's like it's like a History Channel series that's a top 10 of just shit, and then they hokily do like top 10 fucking like wonders of the ancient world. But then they also do like top 10 fucking weapons throughout history and shit. And they were talking about fucking mounted archers. And like that, whatever that fucking type of bow is called, that the name escapes me currently, but it's like shorter, but still packs the punch of like the old school longbow, like the English used to use. That shit was mad fascinating. And they fucking, the Mongols fucking steamrolled through Asia and into Europe with that tactic, horseback with fucking those short bows.
Yeah, six arrows in 2 seconds. That's like, I mean, that's faster than a 6-shooter. Then and you just fucking just rolling, ripping through motherfuckers.
That would make Lee Harvey jealous, you know.
But there's some weird. I don't know what, he's white, but I don't know what like nation of origin he's from. He's got a weird ass accent. I think he's like Dutch or something. But he decided he wanted to prove that you could shoot arrows like that, basically Lord of the Rings style, Legolas style. It's a fascinating YouTube fucking like rabbit hole to fall down. Like Homeboy can do like a parkour flip and like kill 3 people in 2 seconds. It's fucking amazing.
Is it go ahead, Alan?
No, I said nice. That's how I kind of need to check that out. What's his name? Do you know?
White guy, that Dutch last name.
White Dutch guy, Archer. YouTube.
I swear to God, if you type all that in, you will find it.
It's gonna come up. Lars Anderson, a new level of archery.
There it is.
Come on, man.
That's Swedish.
Google's undefeated. Yeah, he's definitely Swede. It's Anderson. It's Anderson with an EN on the end, so he's definitely a Swede.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We won't dock you points.
But either.
Did I hear correctly? And is there any data or science to back this up that like one in every, I would say, I've heard anywhere from 7 to 11 people on Earth are somehow related to Genghis Khan because he did so much fucking when the Mongols just ransacked all over Asia and Eastern Europe.
I can't remember the exact breakdown, but yeah, especially in his immediately following his death, like that, I think like almost, like 9 and 11 were like related to him. He was just laying pipe and fucking dropping arrows, man.
There's
That's
lots
all
of
he
rape.
did.
It was not just pillaging. Along with pillaging comes rape. So a lot of that. Also, I mean, you're talking about it's. I think the other thing that's fascinating when you get back into history that far, like you hear about like major battles and shit, and it's like and the Mongols showed up with 325 guys, and you're like, that's it. But there was only that many people back then. You know what I mean? We didn't have like fucking 100,000 man armies and shit. Like it was just a couple hundred dudes. And they fucking ransack through Europe, pick up a couple more dudes, maybe 500 more. You know,
yeah. Well, you figure if you're really going to be mobile in that day, you need your biggest, your strongest, and your best. You know, you only you can only feed so much. You only feed so many. You can only keep so many hydrated. Some are going to die. Some are going to tag along, and that makes sense. You know, if you're really going to ransack an area or a town or a small city. That seems like a good number. I get it.
Well, there was a story that he killed so many people in one town or one area, like one countryside. It was 2 million bodies that he stacked up and made a wall out of them. And then they of course like decomposed. And this like I don't know, somebody was coming over a hill and like, what's that wall up there? They got up there, it wasn't a wall. It was bones piled 10 feet high for a mile.
Jesus, I'm sure that smelled great. There's actually, speaking of animals, there's this really good, I don't know if you guys have seen this, some Discovery Channel or Nat Geo group sets up a camera with night vision on it, kind of close to a riverbank in hopes of getting, what they found is they found a dead elephant. Okay, and like, all right, we'll set up a camera nearby because some scavenger's bound to come by and you're bound to get some sort of fight.
They're coming.
Yeah, you're going to get competing alpha animals, hunters going at it.
Fucking crocs. There's going to be hyenas.
Yeah.
There's going to be all types of shit.
So a lone hyena, I don't know if this hyena gets first crack at it, but it's certainly early on, and this hyena is the only animal nibbling on it. So the elephant is pretty fucking fat at this point because it's filled with, at that point, it's hydrogen.
Just gas.
Gas,
just
okay.
various gases because they're decomposing.
Right, and he's nibbling around its rear end, and it basically kind of semi blows up, and his asshole blows up while the hyena's around it, and it spooks him and it runs away. Have you seen this?
I think I have seen this before,
but
I haven't seen this. But I'd like a claymation recreation.
Right. It just
the elephant actually just explodes.
That would be great.
It looks like, if you scare a cat when it's not paying attention, you know how they get just super sprung. Same thing. The hyenas, what the hell happened? I think they go back for seconds or thirds, but certainly entertaining. Certainly worth watching. Well, Chris, have we introduced ourselves?
We have not introduced ourselves, but before we do, I want to let you know that in his lifetime, Genghis Khan killed up to 10% of the world's population.
1 in every 10.
Great.
That's fucking crazy.
That's a lot of people.
So you're saying he was cold-blooded? Was he Rick James before Rick James?
Could possibly. Yeah. He was pretty cold.
Genghis Khan, bitches.
Unity. Middle Classholes, everybody. Alan Foxman and Murr, welcome. This is we're on the dawn of 9/11. 20 years. God, it seems that seems weird. Time slows down for no one. Father Time is undefeated, but lots going on here in the world. Especially, I don't know if you guys caught wind of this, but and he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame pre-COVID. They obviously didn't have the ceremony last year, so everyone who got inducted Had to wait a year, but nonetheless, Derek Jeter gave his speech yesterday. It was eloquent. He's thanked a lot of people, thanked the game of baseball. It's worth watching if you are a baseball fan, even someone who hates the Yankees and Derek Jeter as much as myself. Respect him. But to piggyback off of that, I think it's worth mentioning in the Hall of Fame of Pipeline when we introduced Genghis Khan, who obviously might be on the Mount Rushmore of laying pipe in history. Derek Jeter's up there. Derek Jeter's up there. And here's a list of some of the ladies. And we'll go into some of this. I've heard some rumors of what he used to do when he popped around towns here in the great US of A. Go ahead, Murr.
I do want to say, though, like as far as Genghis Khan goes, he was indiscriminately laying pipe. Derek Jeter, though, I mean, impossible in the modern era to lay as much pipe as Genghis Khan without being, like, thrown in the electric chair for all sorts of crimes against humanity. Derek Jeter is in the Hall of Fame for pipe laying, for the quality of pipe. Like, if he was a plumber, he would be using platinum pipes to connect the house to your local sewer system. I mean, this isn't just like pipe laying at random. This is eloquence. This is beauty. This is the golden toilet. This is
art.
Yes, it's an art. It's pipe laying art.
Yeah.
I don't know that will be achieved again in the modern era. I mean, because of the wokeness.
True. Yeah, I think in the world of social media that we live in, Jeter may have gotten in and out at the right time in terms of being it's somewhat discreet, but also not discreet. But here,
yeah, I would argue that he pulled out at the right time.
So here's a star-studded list. Both Jessicas, Alba and Beal, swing. Scarlett Joe, double swing. Adriana Lima. On this Barstool Sports thing, they said the person he thought that Jeter was going to wind up with, Minka Kelly, Jordana Brewster, Tyra Banks, didn't know that one. Vanessa Lachey? Lachey? Yeah.
That's Lachey.
Is it Lachey?
They like Nick Lachey from
yeah. That's who. That's her married name. That's not that wasn't her name at the time.
Oh,
she was a VJ. She did
she's
after Carson.
Pillow.
Yes, there it is. After Carson Daly left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she swing to her. She's beautiful. So, what? Okay. This one, maybe Jeter didn't get the memo, or maybe he just thought he didn't give a fuck because he can, I can fuck crazy. It don't matter. Mariah Carey, Vita
as well.
I guess Vita Guerrera. I mean, talking about donks. That's a world class, bronze that thing and put it in some sort of rear end museum.
She made Maxim magazine before Maxim magazine was Maxim magazine. She was she was on that cover doing that come hither look over the shoulder with that arched out back and just like staring at you, saying, "Come buy this magazine." Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody gonna let you stare at it in the aisle for as long as you want to.
Yeah, I can remember being at a 7-Eleven, casually sucking down a Slurpee that I had filled up before I was going to buy it, and I said, "Wow, I didn't think I could get an erection while drinking a Slurpee in a 7-Eleven like this. This is interesting. I wish I had $7 to buy that." And then, last but not least, it's Hannah Davis, who he has now married and hitched to. It's Hannah Jeter. Don't know too much about her. Yeah, did not know. And I think this was an abbreviated list. I think there's a few more. And your thoughts on Derek Jeter? I mean, what can you say, right? Kudos to him. Tough life. Shortstop for the Yankees.
Yeah. In the hall. Yep. No big deal. What do you say to that shit?
Well, I will say that is a shortened list because I think Barstool put out a more comprehensive list last year, and it locked my computer up just loading the photos of all the women. That is an abbreviated best of. That's the greatest hits list right there. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, as far as Derek Jeter goes, being like you said, shortstop for the Yankees. I mean, that's a real easy in, considering you're also living in the Big Apple.
Right.
Every actress who's working is either on one of the coasts, and so if they're in New York, you're sold. But the fact that he was able to keep his private life private while leading like high end relationships, like that do not disclose agreement should be like studied in law academies across all continents.
Yeah.
Because the non-disclosure, no one knows anything about Jeter. Nobody knows. Like, you'd think dick size would come out. You would think like date attire would come out. You think all of these little intricate details would come out from somebody, but they haven't. Yeah. Is he the ultimate gentleman breaking up with the chick? How does that work?
Yeah. And I think a buddy of mine way back when, let's just say his heyday, early 2000s. So yeah, I guess that would be his heyday. Said that, you know, he did it right in terms of, okay, you're a shortstop for the New York Yankees. First of all, you can look like Eddie Munster and play shortstop for the New York Yankees and probably get laid with some sort of regularity. You look like Derek Jeter, handsome guy. You know, it's going to happen more frequently. But you basically utilize those prime years. You're traveling all over the country 6 months out of the year. You live in New York City. Why get married? You're not going to stay faithful. It's just not going to happen. Even the most fucking Bible-thumping ball player out there is on the road. You know, sorry, ladies. Sorry for breaking your heart about this, but that's the way it goes. And Derek Jeter waited till he retired and then got married. And, you know, it's a great plan.
I didn't even know he was married. Like you just scooped that on me right now.
Yeah, you have some.
And he married a regular person. You know what I mean? He married a fucking normie. Like he didn't marry any of those people, which makes sense. Yeah. Once you run through all that kind of stuff, you just settle down.
You don't need actress drama. You don't need that shit.
You don't need glitz and glam. You know, you need an interior designer or something like that.
But that also makes me wonder if that's why you haven't heard any of these stories. Maybe it wasn't Jeter. Maybe it was all these like actresses like getting caught up in like weird like set romances. And it's like, well, you're gone 6 months out of the year. And Derek's like, but Minka, I wanted to settle down.
Yeah, maybe. So I heard from a friend of a friend, okay, that knew someone that had a tale with Derek Jeter, okay, and what she could disclose was he had rented a condo somewhere in downtown Baltimore when the Yankees were in town, met her out, did the deed, had her sign the non-disclosure agreement, and she woke up to a nice gift basket of fruits and edibles and some sort of nice high-end latte, and wrote her a note, thanked her for a great time. Said he had to leave early to get to the stadium to get some BP in, and that was it.
Class C.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's first class right there.
And apparently she said, I didn't feel guilty about it at all. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, how could you? You got a fucking gift basket.
Yeah.
You got a gift basket. You got a story that you can't really tell anyone, but you can kind of tell some people. Like, we can hear it backhandedly, just like this.
Yeah.
And none the wiser. That's
wow.
Good.
No, that's awesome, because it reminds me of that Twitter photo of Julian Edelman. And it's like some chick.
Oh, yeah.
And he's passed out like face first with like a little bit of drool in his beer. And she's like, I think I just banged a wide receiver for the Patriots.
I have seen that.
And you juxtapose that up against, Derek Jeter leaving a like Oscar nominee worthy backstage gift basket and a hot
latte. Yeah, Roy latte rather. There was a girl that I went to college with. Alan, you may know her. I don't know. She was my age, but lived in the Baltimore area and was out one time when the Yankees were in town, and said that she ran into a bullpen. Someone from the bullpen or a pitcher, relief pitcher that she couldn't identify, but knew Jason Giambi. Okay, this is when Giambi played for the Yankees, and he's laying some game to her. He's just like, really fucking laying it on thick, drunk as hell, and kind of pulling you don't know who I am? And she's like, no, I fucking know who you are. And then she explained, like, I'm an Orioles fan. I fucking hate the Yankees. And he's like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And is talking and talking. She's like, you got your fucking wedding ring on. And this guy goes like, huh? Oh, yeah. Takes it off, puts it in his pocket, and then proceeds to continue hitting on her. As if like, you didn't see that. Not married anymore. And she's like, you're a fucking dude.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a good story. I remember her telling me that.
I believe that.
That's pretty fascinating, too, because it's like, I guess it's worked enough to where, like, he just continued the game.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah.
Didn't even be like, all right, you're right. My bad. I'll go find somebody else.
I had to think that most women didn't even notice that or just ignored it. You know, the ones that like, oh, you're Jason Giambi, first baseman for the Yankees. Oh my God. I don't care if you have 10 rings on, 11.
I was going to say, like, that's just I think it's a numbers game at that point. Like, if you're one of those guys, because, like, you just fucking, if you see something that, they're like a young lady that you like, that you go hit on her. Because the worst she's going to be like is knowing you're still a fucking professional athlete. You're still a millionaire. You know what I mean? You'll just hit on the next pretty girl. And then that one will be like, yes, punch me with your wedding ring, as a matter of fact. Like, you know what I mean? So, you might as well just pull the trigger.
Take it off.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna be that way,
right? Take that wedding ring off and put it around your little Yankee penis. That way you can stay erect for longer. That's the way I think it would go down.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Mr. Jeter on his Hall of Fame induction, and hopefully he's happy. I know he's happy, bastard. This is a story that Murr, you said you wanted me to bring this up because asking for a friend, but Amazon answers to delivery driver shortage, recruit pot smokers. All right, the company is advising its delivery partners, the mom and pops that operate the ubiquitous blue Amazon vans, to prominently advertise that they don't screen applicants for marijuana use, according to correspondence reviewed by Bloomberg and interviews with 4 business owners. So I did not know that there was a driver shortage. Is it just more, not necessarily the shortage as it is people are just having more and more shit delivered? The demand, the supply is not meeting the demand?
Considering
Okay.
Considering the industry I work in, there's more packages. Amazon has taken, especially since the pandemic, Amazon's taken over. They were already taking over the world. This kind of just hit the fast forward button on it. And a lot of people don't want to do the job because it's not easy. It isn't. It's not easy. I mean, it's demanding. It's grueling. We've heard the stories. No bathroom breaks. Piss in a bottle if you have to. Don't slow down. We're tracking your every movement everywhere you go. Yada yada yada. And so and this is one thing that I feel like is going to be a problem until there's some sort of new government regulation on the subject. How many people out there would change jobs right now if they didn't have to take a pre-employment drug screening? So I feel like with the pandemic and people like getting comfortable at home and pot being readily available, and not as much of a stigma anymore, like how many people are just not looking for another job because they can't pass the drug test, so they don't? Or like, man, I'd love to do that job, but I'm comfortable in what I'm doing now, but I can't pass the drug test. And here's Amazon saying like, hey, we don't care about that shit anymore. So come on, we need drivers. Let's go. And so that's why I'd like to pass this along to our legal counsel to wonder why every single company in America currently, I don't know, it seems like it's a mandatory thing to take a drug test. What if it wasn't? Or what if at least pot wasn't a, one of the things that they're screening for?
Well, when did we say we're going to have a legal counsel on the 16th to 23rd?
Yeah. So our next show, we'll get these questions
next
answered.
week. Our legal counsel will be on asking for a friend, everyone. So if you have any legal questions or inquiries, please hit us up at tickleourtummies@gmail.com. Go on, Alan.
No, I'm excited to actually have that conversation because I think it might be just, for waxing philosophical briefly for a second, I think it could point to something like just a systemic view of fucking marijuana in the United States. You know what I mean? Like, remember Reefer Madness and shit like that? Like that, and like the war on drugs and just piled on all on top of each other was just like, oh, cannabis is fucking the gateway to heroin. And now people are like, no, it's not. It's actually a nice way to relax, I guess, sometimes if you're into that. Like, and that's a nice thing. So I'm excited to have this conversation whenever we have legal counsel on. This will be good.
Well, so okay, what about in terms of a job such a job that involves driving around? When you have some liability in there, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and the dickheads who kind of have a leg to stand on in that regard.
No, that makes some sense. No, I mean, I got that. I totally understand that. You know,
and I don't want to. And this is not the argument I want to drum up, but like, I mean, come on, we're all pounding like beers and liquor drinks like while we do the show, but we wouldn't do that while we're driving around during the day. Like I drive a vehicle for work, but I also enjoy my Coors Lights and my Miller High Lifes and of course my Raspberry White Claws, but I don't do them on the job. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm not like and if I had prescription pills that told me I'm not allowed to operate heavy machinery, I'm not going to be popping those at work. Just like you don't spark a dude at work. Like that's. So you just take the same logic and apply it to this, and from what I've heard though, if an employee doesn't pass a mandatory drug screening, pre-employment drug screening, then they can't be insured, and therefore the company is liable for anything that happens should they test positive after an accident. And so that's why all companies do this shit now. But Amazon being Amazon's like, just like if their package is stolen, they just replace it for free. Amazon's like, hey, fuck your insurance. I don't care. We can afford it. So just hire everybody. We'll make up for it for the amount of shit we get delivered before somebody causes an accident.
Yeah. If one of our drivers fucking runs over a small child delivering fucking dildos 2-day free delivery, fucking don't worry. We'll settle it out of court.
Yeah.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Here's your $2 million dildo. And you have a pleasant
you want a small child? We can get you one sent straight to your door. 2-day prime.
Jesus Christ!
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well. Here's a modern day question. What about if it requires a vaccine?
What? Oh. Well, like, you know what? I'm vaccinated. So I'm going to be super selfish and be like, fine, whatever.
Can't make me do it. No jab for me.
I mean, private enterprise and such.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, why you do this? Why you do this?
Why do this? There was a big mandate out today. All federal employees, and now did Joe make it so that businesses over 100, or is that supposed to be the next thing? Small businesses over 100 employees?
I don't know.
I believe that's like the new thing.
Okay.
I've been trying to limit my news watching in the modern era post Trump. Post Trump, I'm trying not to watch the news anymore. I did see, once it doesn't, unless it involves me, I don't pay attention.
Gotcha.
And I'm vaccinated, so none of this bullshit involves me anymore. So I just wait for the Facebook comments. And I just move on with my day.
I'm actually with you, dude. I haven't put a news channel on in a while.
That's what people wanted, man. They wanted boring politics. I won't.
It's supposed to be boring.
It's supposed to be long and thorough and fucking boring, man.
Yeah.
People don't tune into the government channels. Your public access roundtable unless you have some speaker who's saying Mike Cock and Phil McCracken.
I shouldn't be fucking tuning into C-SPAN with a Jerry Springer-like enthusiasm. It's not the way the fucking politics is supposed to work.
You did not get the bill signed. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at me go. Look at me go. Results are in. Oh, shit. Hey, real quick before we go on our first break, I shared this with you guys this morning. Murr, you had talked extensively about finding your niche sport. We had gone on and on about this in the Olympics, and it seemed to be handball might have been where you landed and saying, like, if I'd given that all my effort, all my attention, all my training, I may have had a crack at it. Well, I think I think your old Uncle Wes here may have cracked the code. It's a sport known as goalball. Didn't get the dimensions of the field of the playing field, but it looks to be something like
doesn't matter.
Whatever.
The court.
The court, yes. What would you guys say? Maybe half the size, half the length and width of a tennis court.
Yeah, no, it was a little. It looked like about a half court basketball, maybe a little bit 3/4 basketball court.
And a goal that's the entire length of one end zone or end line, whatever. 3 people per team, and they're all blindfolded. And it's not a blindfold; it looks more like a bird's beak that's made out of plastic that hovers, or that attaches to your forehead and hovers over you. And you throw the ball blind, and you block the ball blind. Your thoughts on what you witnessed with goalball?
Well, you do know that was a Paralympic sport, right, Wes? Like this wasn't just like something they didn't cover during the regular Olympics.
You know,
right?
I had a hunch that it was Paralympics, and I didn't actually pay too much attention to it because they were walking around. They didn't look like they were disabled. They looked able-bodied.
Well, yeah. No, they're the bird beak thing, the bird beak blindfold you're talking about is because, just in case you're not blind enough, they got to double up on it for you. So you feel like an asshole now, don't you?
I feel like, I feel like the counterculture is gonna blow this shit up.
That's why I was kind of showing you that it didn't really matter what the dimensions were. They could literally just like yell "goal" and no one would be the wiser.
God.
Yo, guys, did you know that the ball has fucking bells in it?
Yeah, I heard it.
I had no idea.
Okay, this actually makes a lot more sense. I didn't think it. Okay, I feel like such a tool.
Hold on. IBSA goalball rules require the field of play to be 18 meters. It's 59 feet for you fucking Neanderthals. Long by 9 meters. That's 30 feet. So 59 feet by 30 feet wide.
Okay.
There you go.
And it does it instruct that people have to be a certain disabled in terms of eyesight, blind or legally blind?
So I think in the like Paralympic Games, you have to be blind or it says partially sighted, quote unquote.
Gotcha. All right, everyone. Well,
assuming legally blind.
Your man Foxman here is an asshole, and if you want to report me somewhere to some sort of hate group, I tickle our tummies at gmail.com. Hands up.
Look at these very able-bodied people covering their eyes and playing this silly game.
Yeah, dude, no, but I was watching it, and I watched the entire clip. It was 8 minutes long. It really only needed to be 30 seconds. I laughed for the first 2 minutes, and then I wanted to see through the entirety of the clip if there was any strategy involved. There's not. It's a medicine ball type thing, just, like Alan said, filled with cat bells, so that these
just feeling around on the floor.
And their strategy seems to be... Oh, and by the way, you can't highball. Highball means you can't bounce it hard enough to where it goes more than like 2 feet off the ground. And that's why their main strategy is to just all three of them lay like head to feet across the way and just pray the ball slams into them somehow. It was, but the Americans won gold. They beat the Brazilians in blind ball. And it's...
blind ball.
It's
blind ball. It's gold ball, you inconsiderate prick.
I feel like blind ball is actually less condescending. Goal ball. Like, honestly, I feel like there was some like greasy Italian guy sitting at the Paralympian Olympic Committee table. Like, what are we gonna do for the blind folks? Goal ball. What do they do? I don't know. They throw balls at fucking goals. Goal ball.
Coming down to the nitty gritty, they had like 3 minutes left in the. We gotta wrap this meeting up.
It's fucking goal ball.
We got a happy hour to get to.
You get a ball and you throw it in the goal.
Yeah, gold's a peppermint patty. I don't know. Silver's a chocolate chip cookie, and I don't know. Give them a Werther's original for us for a bronze. That's good. Put it down.
Well, for those goal ball players out there, please don't hate on us. We're learning new sports as we go, and we try to be very sympathetic to all cultures, all needs, all everybody here at the Middle Classholes.
I'm trying to play.
You trying to get a team?
Trying to get a team together.
Well, I don't know. Do we want to? How can we just explain that you have to be either legally blind or what was the term that you said?
Partially sighted.
Partially sighted.
Partially sighted is just a nice way of saying legally blind. And by the way, they would actually probably be better than us because they got those fucking like those radar blips going on. They can fucking like sonar that ball coming in where we can't because we got real eyes. And in any way, what would the difference be? Everybody's wearing a blindfold to make sure they ain't lying in the first place. So why don't we get some blindfolds and play some goalball? We should take on a professional goalball team and see how we perform.
Hey, I'm down. Who wants to set that up? Better. Murray, you taking the reins on that one?
All right.
Yeah. I will seek out a local goalball team in the Baltimore regional area.
Maryland goalball. Boom. Maryland Raptors goalball.
Wow.
Really? All right.
The Raptors, yeah. Maryland Raptors. I don't know where they are, but hey, look, they exist. They have a Facebook page. There's an email. There's a phone number. So
do we walk into the facility and try to first of all act as if we're, what did you say, partial sighted, and then try to see if they catch on?
No, I think you got to be upfront with them. These look like, I'm looking at these Facebook group pictures, and they look like a wholesome group of fucking people just trying to enjoy themselves with a recreational activity. So I think we got to be nice, kind of.
Okay.
Even though the whole premise of our thing is being dicks, kind of. Yeah. I say we could.
All right.
But we're blind. Hey, look, I think we get blinded. You know what I mean? Well, we're not like...
Okay. Well, here's the difference. I wouldn't get on here and have the hubris to say that I could beat one of these legless fucks in any kind of like sprint. Like, they're still superior athletes when it comes to track and field. Like, just because you're missing an arm doesn't mean I'm going to be a better surfer than you. But as far as goalball goes, I feel like if give me a blindfold and I feel like I'm just as capable, handy capable. I'm a handy man.
Yeah, that's right. You get a couple of those like paraplegic dudes from no legs from the knee down with those those alloy springs. They're smoking us.
Yeah.
Fucking all day, every day, in every event. I do think I had a good team name. It's kind of a John Cena route. You can't see me. I think that would be that might go well in the intramural ranks.
That's too soon. That's ignorant. Nah, I mean, this does remind me. Have you guys seen that South Park episode when Cartman enters the Special Olympics? And assuming that he's just going to dominate every event, and he gets smoked in every single one. And
by the way, I know
I haven't seen that.
Wes, you're trying to be kind of like a little PC in a way. Like, you don't want to get a woke mob attacking you. And
I just said our team name should be "You Can't See Me."
Okay, I know. But as far as like competing against them and assuming that we're better than them, here's the thing though. In this woke era, isn't it about equality? So if these blindless fucks think that they're better than us, prove it. I'll put you on equal standing with me, and I'll come in there and I'll goalball your ass into next. I'll goalball your ass into sightedness. That's what I'll do. I'll fuck you up so hard you'll be able to see your way out.
I'll blind ball your ass so hard.
You can see your way out. That's.
By the way, that's what the John Cenas will say when they beat somebody. See your way out, bitch.
We aren't doctors, but we'd love to take a look at some more of the Middle Classholes.
We welcome back to the Middle Classholes, Murr, Allen, and Foxman. So, enjoyed a good Labor Day off, Monday. Sarah got back from a girls' trip a little later than I had expected. Excuse me. And we had teetered around with the idea of going out to the water, but it didn't really pan out. She said, "Well, let's just go to the O's game. Let's go to the O's game. There's not gonna be anyone there. It's a fucking beautiful day," and it was. It was what, like mid-80s, a little bit of breeze. Went, checked that out, then went into Fells Point and got dinner. All right, so this is where things get good. We got a couple shared plates and a couple beers, and we're enjoying ourselves. But nice day out in Fells Point. Not too packed, not too crowded, but people are enjoying themselves. Bartender's getting chubby with us, joking around, and then he leaned in really close. All right, and I was like,
"Wait, to who?"
To me. Okay, the bartender. And I wasn't sure what was going on because I was looking down at something, and it suddenly realized that he wanted to be discreet. Something had happened to him that he just had to fucking tell somebody. And we weren't friends that long to where he was going to get like, hey, buddy. It's basically like, hey, anybody with ears, you got to hear this. And he goes, yo, the fucking guy down towards the end of the bar ordered a Scotch and milk. I was like, outrageous. I beg your pardon? And he's fucking made it. And he's like, hey, boss, what do you want me to garnish this with? And the guy's like, nah, it's okay. Nothing. And he drank 2 of them.
Is that how old? Okay, how old was the guy?
My guess, looking down and trying not to stare, late 60s, early 70s.
Okay, that meets that criteria. Is that any kind of old school beverage?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, the bartender who was the bartender there was, I think, about 10 years older than me, give or take, and had been bartending since he was 21. And I was like, that's the first for me. And he's like, buddy, I've been in bars my entire life. I've never seen anyone fucking drink that.
Well, there's crazy all around. I mean,
I suppose he was a nice guy, kept to himself, kept quiet, slammed 2 Scotch and milks, tipped him kindly, and got the fuck out of there. So, I mean, there's something to be said for that, but
no, that's weird. Like, he did, because like he didn't ask for like warmed up or something or like nothing.
Nope, on ice.
On ice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm on like a high-end bartender site right now. It says, "What's this?" I mean, really, what? An old man showed up and asked me to make this at the bar today. It turns out that Scotch and milk, specifically Dewar's and milk, is not so bad after all. This is, of course, the time of year when and then it goes on and on and on. It says the milk simply softens the Scotch's liquor flavors and gives the drink faintness on the mouthfeel. Scotch is naturally spicy, so it fits with a holiday theme, and many old folks enjoy their Scotch and milk.
I was gonna say, I see it like as a warm thing, one like a holiday thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense.
It was Labor Day. I mean, 'tis the season.
No, like a winter holiday thing.
Okay, all right. I know we're mocking it, and rightfully so. But no, then you think about like eggnog. Like, I mean, that's a dairy and liquor, and then you think about like a White Russian. That's a dairy and liquor. Dairy and liquor seems to go all right, so maybe it shouldn't be quite as weird. I've always found with liquor drinks, like, don't knock it till you try it. And it's usually that old fuck at the end of the bar that's got a nice pair of leather shoes on. That's the guy you trust.
Yeah,
to give it a go.
I don't necessarily know. I know my attitude towards this whole thing sounds like I'm knocking it. One, it was kind of funny just the way the bartender approached me about it, and it kind of caught me off guard. Again, this refers back to you can drink whatever the fuck you want, especially for a gentleman this guy's age, late 60s. I don't care if he was drinking, barback juice, which is basically any liquid that can be found underneath a rubber plate or a rung up dish towel or something like that, and liquor of your choice, whatever. You can drink whatever you want at the bar. But I was trying. We all, myself, Sarah, and the bartender, were trying to go over just odd combos of booze and a mixer that we had in our entire lives. And all three of us I probably outburst laughed at 3 or 4 times just thinking about, yo, this guy just asked me for a fucking Scotch and milk. It's like, wow. Yeah, but no, I mean, like I said, he sucked down 2 in about 15 minutes and
wow.
got the hell out of there. Yeah.
I feel like
Scotch was it Dewar's?
I didn't ask. I couldn't. I didn't ask. I don't know. I was still getting over the Scotch and milk.
It wasn't even anything good. It was probably like some fucking. It was like some Cutty Sark.
Probably, yeah.
I kind of want to try one now just to see.
Yeah.
It might be amazing. It might not.
It's probably delicious. I don't know. I'm a milk fan though. Like I like milk. So
he asked him if he wanted him to garnish it with like an Oreo or something.
Yeah. Scotch and milk. Can you garnish it with a fucking golden Oreo?
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to make this less weird, even though it is. Believe me, if I was the bartender, that's exactly. I would have grabbed the first random stranger with a Baltimore Stallions shirt on.
I had an Oreo shirt on. I had an Oreo shirt on. This guy just wearing a fucking Scotch and milk, man.
I definitely would have done the same thing. But no, like a milk slide, a mud slide. It's ice cream and liquor.
Yeah, but isn't it vodka?
But does it matter? Like, I mean, we're like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of.
I know the White Russian, but again, it's vodka, Bailey's, and milk, and I guess it's just the idea of Scotch, which is typically, requires nothing more than a couple ice cubes and then maybe a little bit of water. It's a sipping man's thing. I just can't imagine someone needing to quench their alcoholic thirst. Like, God, you know what I've been itching for all day? Scotch and milk. Ugh.
What establishment were you at?
Cooper's.
Okay. Yeah, like imagine just like what's the decision making process there? Walking along the waterfront, just taking in the scenic Fells Point in Baltimore, and being like, you know what? Bet you this place right here has a good Scotch and milk. Let me get up in there, grab a bar stool. Like it's outrageous.
It sounds like a soft man with a hard liver.
Or like he just taking a long walk and he's like, "Ooh, pretty thirsty. Let me hop in here and grab a Scotch and milk."
On this 85-degree day.
Neither one of those beverages works well in this scenario. I could use a little bit of liquid refreshment. I could use a Scotch or milk. Why not both?
He takes a look up at the Cooper sign. He's like, bet you they have some cold milk in there. Go with my Dewar's.
Is a dog themed bar? Definitely has cold milk. Yeah, I think the other thing, it's 85 degrees and it's a holiday that I don't have to work on. Yep, I think today's a Scotch and milk day. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Well, speaking of, it's already in it. We were going to talk about this last week. Couldn't fit it in to a packed schedule, but about 3 days ago. This is dated September 6th. Well, it was dated before that, but it's telling you it's coming out September 6th. Bud Light has announced a new fall hard seltzers pack. You can pick them up in 12 packs of 4 different varieties, including some of your favorites, such as pumpkin spice, apple crisp, maple pear, and toasted marshmallow. This will run from September 6th through the end of October, presumably Halloween or soon thereafter. So this seltzer game is not going anywhere anytime fast. It's probably here to stay for the long haul. Is Bud Light getting just too cute with this?
Yeah,
they
are.
None of these sounds good.
Would you rather drink a Scotch and milk than a toasted marshmallow seltzer? Yes, I would probably.
Yeah. At least, nothing that's sparkling and clear should taste like toasted marshmallow. Like that's it. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that. And I will take me a fucking a truly lemonade out on the golf course. You know what I mean? On a hot day, I'm not nervous about it, but this is a little too far.
Yeah. As a sparkling seltzer drinker myself, I've But again, this is the male palate versus the female palate. I feel like Bud Light is really targeting the female palate more than anything else because they know that husbands will buy their wives whatever they want as long as they're drunk and silly at the end of the night. Like that's if my wife tells me that she wants a specific alcoholic beverage, I will drop what I'm doing shirtless and drive straight to the liquor store to get it for her because I know that my evening's going to be fun based on how much fun she wants to have this evening.
And then not get served because you're shirtless. You need to drive back home to find a shirt to put on.
I've got pasties in the truck just for the occasion.
I don't know, man. This might be territory where, like, if my wife's like, "Hey, go pick me up a 12er of that maple pear," I'm gonna be like, "No, nope, not gonna do it. I'll go get you anything else. Any other suggestions? Any other cravings this evening? Because I'm not picking that up. I'm not buying that.
I don't know. Of all the flavors that you chose, maple pear might be the one that I tried out of that whole stock there.
Pumpkin spice, apple crisp, maple pear,
I think
toasted marshmallow.
I might try the apple crisp.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Like the apple crisp would be the one that I think I might be like, okay, let me see if I'm into this fall fucking seltzer flavors. And I'd reluctantly try an apple crisp. That toasted marshmallow, you can throw that right in the fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Maple pear sounds terrible. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big pear guy either, so maybe that's the root of it. But it sounds awful.
It didn't mention individual 12 packs. The article now maybe they've updated, but the article said it's going to be a variety of pack, three a piece to make 12. My question to you guys is, if they are able to at some point here in the near future make them individual 12 packs or 6 packs, do you see any room for making a mix with this? You know, you add this along with some booze and some soft drinks or something like that.
Well, that was honestly, and this is where, okay, remember when Burger King went off the rails with the King and McDonald's was trying to do like salads on their menus and shit, and then Burger King was like, come try the 4-patty Baconator Supreme with chili and heart attack on top. Your heart will hate it, but your mouth will love it. Like, that's what Bud Light's doing. Like to attack like White Claw and the rest of them, because the White Claws, I like the what I'll call the bitter flavors. I like natural lime and I like ruby red grapefruit. The rest of them can kiss my ass. Grapefruit. But Bud Light's last variety pack was actually designed for you to mix and match them. Like pour half of this one and half of this one and a third of this one and a third of this one and a quarter of this one. That's what they wanted you to do, and so that's. Well, I don't like the variety packs because 3 of them suck and 1 of them's good.
Do you think maybe Bud Light, and again, I know very little about the seltzer worlds. I do know that they are delicious in the right setting. My thing with it, I can't drink too many of them. About 2, and I've kind of had it because I enjoy the taste of beer. But again, I don't give a rat's ass. Good for all of them. Good for the White Claws and the Trulies of the world. First of all, my question to this is, did Bud Light lose out this summer? Is White Claw and Truly still the benchmark of the seltzer game? I know Natty Light got into it too.
I had a couple Bud Light seltzers recently, and they're not bad. And also, Bud Light seltzer makes a cranberry, which is terrific.
Okay.
But I'm like I said, I'm more of a Truly guy. The Truly lemonades. It is a variety pack, but most of the flavors are good. I think pretty much all of them, except for this last time, and I don't know if it was a summer thing. I think they worked a watermelon lemonade in there, and that was trash.
Okay.
But other than that,
okay. So
mango berry fruit punch.
So we'll say they're not necessarily playing second fiddle, but they're not the top dog of the seltzer game, at least as it currently stands. Do you think? Go ahead.
I think the Claw and the Truly got it on lock.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Do you think maybe that Bud Light, or in this case, Anheuser-Busch, thinks that, all right, the summertime stuff is coming to an end. The alcoholic seltzer beverages is going to not die down, but it's going to take a substantial hit when we get into the colder months. We need to unleash something in order to keep Bud Light seltzers front and center.
Yeah. 100%. No, I think that White Claw is probably the staple of the seltzer game, and you know what you're getting there. So Bud Light's playing, Bud Light's kind of playing second fiddle, but I think by doing what they're doing, like giving you more variety, you're more likely to stick with the first one of these things that you drink. So if the first one you drink's a White Claw, you'll probably stick with White Claw. But if the first one you drink is a Bud Light, you're going to stick with the Bud Light. So if they throw the menagerie of flavors at you and you're like, I don't like this one, but I like this one, even if you hated the other 5 or 6 flavors that you tried in the past, you're going to find one of the Bud Light seltzers, and then you're going to stick with that and keep buying that 6-pack or the specific 12-pack of that flavor. You're never going to venture over to the other brands. And they've got enough money to fucking do this. Whereas, like, White Claw's like, come on, man. I got 6 flavors. I can't be doing this variety pack bullshit.
That lime and grapefruit.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Nobody even makes grapefruit-flavored stuff. We're already fucking out on a limb here.
So none of you guys over the summer or the season tried any of the Natty Light seltzer?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think I draw the line.
Yeah, you don't make good beer. Why would I try your side project?
Speak for yourself, sir. Natural Light is delicious. I actually found out today White Claw, the parent company who manufactures that, also manufactured Mike's Hard Lemonade. You guys dabble with that in your younger years?
No.
I might have had one or two.
Okay.
Well, I think I had one, and I was like, but it was still a malted beverage, so it was heavy on you. These seltzers. Last night I had. I'm with you. I usually only have like 2 of them. Like last night I think I had 3 and then a High Life. But man, I'm telling you, you get those giant whiskey milk ice balls, and you freeze those fuckers up, and you put a little lime in there. Oh,
feel good. I feel good. I feel like I just drank a Scotch milk.
I prefer Scotch and heavy cream ice personally. Really like it to coat my belly before the seltzer gets in there and jumbles it all up.
I'll have a Scotch and Pepto-Bismol if you got that back there.
I bet there's a drink made with Pepto. I'm going to look it up while you talk.
Pepto-Bismol. Well, folks, Bud Light, the new fall variety pack coming out. Actually, it came out 3 days ago, September 6th. If you are able to get your hands on some and want to give us a review, feel free to reach out at tickleourtummies@gmail.com or other social media platforms. We want to know. We want to hear what you have to say about it. Moving on to an article that we posted on the official Middle Classholes Facebook page. A woman claims her breast reduction surgery failed after her boobs regrow. Bethany Line, a 24-year-old singer and dancer from Los Angeles, paid $10,000 for a breast reduction to turn her E cups to C cups. Makes sense. E, that's ridiculous. Your back and your fucking pretty much everything probably aches all the goddamn time. Finding clothing and lingerie is probably a royal pain in the ass. So kudos for her for making that decision. I know that's not easy. However, trouble arose when she realized her breasts were starting to regrow back to their original size. She believed that the regrowth had to do with her hypothyroidism and hormonal changes. So later on, this gentleman named Dr. Douglas Steinbreck, probably from the Stephen Gundry-esque era of doctors that we've talked about, it is possible for breast tissue to grow back after having this reduction. Changes in weight, pregnancies, stress and illness, and shift in hormone balance can create the reactions in the body. Murr, you asked what people's superpower was when you posted that on the Middle Classholes page. Your thought on Miss Lyons? Would you call it unfortunate? I mean, $10,000. That's a lot of fucking money. You should get your money back.
Yeah, no, I feel like the surgery should be done again at cost to the physician. Because, I mean, look, she said, I wanted this. It didn't stay. It's on you. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't do my body chemistry. Here they are. But I was just kind of posting up. I was thinking of, like, you always say, like, what if you had a superpower, but it was a shitty superpower? And I was thinking about, like Wolverine with his healing factor. And then her boobs just always want to be E-cups.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That'd be an awful power.
Maybe God just likes your jigglies, baby. Maybe just keep them around for a while. Maybe start an OnlyFans. Maybe like do a time lapse. Watch these bitches get bigger.
Oh, there you go. See, now you're cooking with gas.
Yeah. Post a picture every day for a year, pre and post surgery. Yeah.
Let's put your marketing hat on. But no, I have a strange suspicion that a reputable surgeon probably has this covered and was like, yeah, this could possibly happen. This is like a thing that happens sometimes. So just so you know, here's this waiver that releases me of any liability of having to reduce your boobs again for free. Yeah, I don't think there's a warranty on it. You know, it's really all I'm saying.
It's probably you're like based on what that doctor said about the inner body functionings and the physiology that takes place in order for them to regrow that can take place. You're probably absolutely right. And my guess is it's rare. You know, how rare I don't know, but if the doctor, even if it's 1 in 1,000, they're going to offer. What would you say? What did you say it was, Alan? The liability, like, please sign here in case you're one of the few that. Yeah.
Definitely a waiver of some sort. You know, I think it's like if you reverse it, like if you get implants, they're not made forever. They're not made to like you're going to need sprucing up. You're going to need replacement tires. Treads get low. You know, lots of. You know, and then they get all loosey goosey.
Lots of honking.
Yeah, lots of that stuff. So I think it's the same thing. Like you don't. When they get tired, you don't take them to fucking Mr. Tire, and Mr. Tire's like, "Oh yeah, you've driven them for 50,000 miles. We'll go get you some new ones right on the house." No, I mean we'll get you some new ones. We'll spruce you up, but it would cost you a little bit of money. You know what I mean? I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do feel like, I mean, this doesn't sound like an elective surgery or anything like that, but if you're going to have any kind of cosmetic surgery done, if you've made that decision, treat yourself. Don't find the cheapest doctor. Mm-hmm. Don't necessarily find the most expensive doctor. I would say find the halfway point and then go up a little bit. You know, raise your bar above that 50% level. Because, like, I just learned recently that I am definitely, absolutely, without the shadow of a doubt, going to have a colonoscopy in the next several weeks or a couple months, depending on how my insurance wants to handle this thing. And I was like, okay. I look up the pricing on it. Anywhere from $1,000 to $3,500. Like, well, what do we get for the 1,000 versus the 3,500? Apparently, you get an anesthesiologist that might keep you alive, and that's it. Because any idiot can fucking shove a camera up your ass. It's can the other person keep you sort of alive and dead at the same time without actually killing you.
Gotcha. Well, if someone like Miss Lyon or even yourself, Mer, is looking, well, not necessarily a colonoscopy, but in terms of reduction surgery, we talked about him on the show before, the gentleman out of Florida who was hacking off penises and ball sacks at a drastically reduced rate. Of course, this is an at-home surgery, minimal anesthesia used. So if Miss Lyon was looking for some sort of bargain rate breast reduction, might be an option. I feel for her, though. I mean, 10 grand. I can't suspect that she's rich. Okay, maybe she's doing okay. 10 grand is still fucking 10 grand. And if I paid 10 grand to have my lawn manicured and landscaped and plowed and sod put out, and I did everything in the world I could to maintain it in some sort of weird.
It keeps growing. What's going on?
Yeah, it was like you would think maybe it would come back.
I mean, if some sort of odd, I don't know, Asian beetle started fucking in it and ransacked it, made it dirt. I don't know.
I think if you were like, God, that was such a bad try. I think if you had just been like, I paid 10 grand to make my yard astroturf, and then it just started growing. Then I'd have been like, all right, that's weird. That's fair. You might have a leg to stand on. But now, man, I think, whoever brought it up, or you brought it up originally, didn't you say something about, gaining weight, losing weight, pregnancy, things like that? Like, those are all biological functions that fucking alter how shit goes on in this meat sack. So, like I said, a doctor worth their salt was definitely like, hey, by the way, yeah, we're definitely going to do this. We're definitely going to cut them off, but we're definitely going to suck them down. But they could come back.
Yeah,
There's
but
a lot
a
of empty space there.
A C to an
With that.
E, like, I mean, I would figure you got like a 10-year warranty on that. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
See, I think this is what I learned the other day too, helping assisting my wife with bra sizing, which is, hey, we're getting personal. Is that cups aren't as big as you think they would be? Like, if that makes sense. Like actual legitimate bra size. Like, I learned so much, but like cup sizes aren't like E's a big tit. It's a big booby.
Yeah.
We've got your travel freedom
Whoa,
covered.
sorry. Jesus,
But
I was trying to queue up the next
Like,
thing.
you know those people you've seen on like National Geographic or like the Discovery Channel, and it's like I had to get my breast reduction because I couldn't fucking stand upright. They've got like triple fucking Q's. You know what I mean? Like, they've made it to parts of the alphabet we shouldn't be at for cup sizes. So yeah, I think like the E's to C's, like in our minds as men, we're like, E's, those are some bazongas. And C's are just, average breasts.
That's interesting.
Like,
Interesting
but they're really not that much different.
I haven't heard the word bazongas in quite some time. I'm glad you said that. Yeah,
I felt like an appropriate term.
Sure. Yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying, but also, it's cosmetic surgery. It's cosmetic surgery. If you have $10,000 to perform it, or $10,000, if you have the means in order to get the desired effect, and you have, I won't say E's are abnormally low. Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I think anything over when you get into the E's of any kind, in my opinion, you're getting into like 8-inch dicks.
yeah.
I don't know. I think that's where we maybe aren't. We're overestimating. Is what I'm saying.
Overestimating boob size or dick size.
I'm saying that like E's are probably like 7-inch penises.
Okay.
6.5.
No.
6 3/4 to 7.
I'm gonna agree with Wes on this. I'm gonna say like an E is probably like a 9-inch dick with girth.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, like you've seen, like it's large enough to have a stellar porno career, but like not so large that you can't like buy pants. And so like
I don't know, man. I'll tell you. Here's what I'll say. Try an experiment. Go check your wife's bras. Don't check them. Ask her permission. But involve her in this.
Sniff her panties. Check her balls. You told me. Okay, good.
Don't go being all fucking weird. But like, even chat with her about it, and you'll probably be enlightened. You'll be like, huh, damn, I thought you probably like, man, Sarah's got some fucking B titties. No, she doesn't. She got like some B's, and you don't know it. You don't know that. You just think. You're just
I know.
assuming.
Yeah,
I know
what
size.
I'm saying.
I know full well
Okay.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm 100% aware.
I'm just saying.
It's impressive too. By the way, they like doubled in size from pregnancy, which is like, oh yeah.
Oh,
all right.
well, yeah. See.
Yeah.
See, and that's like a perfect example. Like, did this broad get pregnant?
They didn't know. I mean,
Like, if she got them reduced and then she got pregnant, that's on you. You knew that was coming.
yeah, true. It didn't say anything. I didn't read that. She just said, and she said it was relatively quick. It was within the first 3 to 4 months. You started to notice them growing again. So I don't know, man.
Is it common for boob reductions to regrow?
Yeah, give us a stat.
Oh well. I'm sure that this news story is going to do her just fine.
Yeah.
There'll be some guy out there that loves a titty that never stops growing.
I'm just gonna
Absolutely. That's the immediate answer, and Google's like, "Yep, absolutely, they can regrow."
God, you know what the shame is if your penis was to get severed in some sort of horrific accident? Nope, you're stuck with that.
I was gonna say, could you imagine if Mandingo one day was like, "I'm sick of this life. I can only wear tearaway pants. Fuck." And then he went and got it reduced, got it down to like a healthy 8 or something like that, and then like 6 months later, it was back to like 24 inches. And he was like, "Go! This curse!" It's terrible. That would be awful.
Preaching at the church, telling everyone. Oh, shit. All right, last story before Fun Fact Friday. Coming straight from the heart of Maryland. Actually, what was it? Churchton, to be exact, out of Anne Arundel County. Fucking, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether or not this is newsworthy. I mean, Christ, we talked about goalball and went on that for about 15 minutes, so we'll have at it. Maryland man whose attack on a woman with a semen-filled syringe was caught on camera is sentenced to 10 years. A gentleman named Thomas Byron Steeman, Stemen, coincidentally, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for first-degree assault. He pleaded guilty in June. Wasn't his first rodeo. The article also mentioned that he had about 6 or 7 previous convictions. You guys, I mean, dare we show the video?
I mean, the substance is funnier than the crime.
All right. So we get Mr.
Do we get a motive? What was the end game?
Well, he tried to attack two other people.
He looks like a guy that would stab you with a syringe full of semen.
He tried to attack two other people apparently before this. So he was looking for anyone to inject with his cum.
There's another. Does he know there's another way of doing it?
Oh, got her in the back and was like, "Hey, ma'am, you okay?" Oh,
what happened?
Oh, man,
what happened? What do you get out of that, man? This is why I fear for the world. It's like what? I mean, does he just walk away from that scenario knowing that what was once inside him is now inside someone else? Like, what is that about? What's the rush?
Does he have like the AIDS or the HIVs or anything of the sort? Or like,
didn't say.
Like, I mean, it just seems weird. I mean, people are into different shit, I guess, but it seems weird that there wouldn't be like some ultimate motive. Like, if I'm stabbing, I don't know. If Alan conceived of the idea to stab someone with his own bodily fluids, it would be because I'm fucking giving somebody something. You know what I mean? Like, not just because. I don't think there's no rock salt for me there.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless there was some some sort of recent divorce, some sort of.
But they didn't know each other. I feel like that would have been.
No. I mean, like he feels so lonely. First of all, I mean this probably comes from some sort of deep depression or some sort of psychological or psychiatric issue, or both, or something that's tied. I don't know if something triggered this person, like a breakup or a divorce or some sort of family member saying "fuck you, get the hell out of my life," and this is like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna come and I'm gonna syringe it up and I'm gonna fucking poke it on someone.
Yeah, like there's a process to that,
Yes, there is.
People are incomprehensible. That's exactly what the fuck it is.
You gotta jizz and then you gotta get it in there. Jizz in there. That's
into the syringe.
I guess you could.
Do you think he gave it
plunger all the way out?
Do you think he gave it the air
bubble,
the first squirt? Just to see if it got some velocity.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I think he probably did because he's watched enough television.
There is there, like Alan said, and like you've alluded to, there's a lot of setup to this particular crime, and none of it's really pretty to imagine inside of your mind's eye. And so this 50-some-year-old man had to sit pantsless in a room somewhere and not only prep the injection, but the injector.
Yeah.
And then he had to go down to his local, looked like a Food Lion, and find his victim. Is there a worse... the reason I sent this to you is I kind of wanted to know, is there a worse substance to have randomly injected into you by a stranger than his own semen?
God.
That's tough.
Assuming I don't... Like, are there any substance by...
I mean, we can start with bodily fluids. I mean, like... like Alan said, like, does he have AIDS? Like, I mean,
Right.
to me, if he injected me with like a syringe of his own blood, I'd be like, oh, he wanted to give me a pathogen that he's like walking around with on a daily basis and wanted another stranger to know what that feels like.
Right.
What to have your jizz put in you by a syringe? I almost feel like that's worse than the alternative to getting it into your body.
Yeah, you're probably right on that, and the thought child behind this it baffles me. I don't know. We're going to have to get an asking for a friend psychiatric evaluator on to figure out, like, hey, doc, listen, we came across a pretty odd case out of kind of our backyard, Churchton, Maryland. Gentleman came on his stomach. Wrapped it all, kind of funneled it all into
scooped it with the syringe in off of his body, just scraped it off.
Then plotted his course of attack outside, probably while listening to Leonard Skinner or some sort of fog hat, and then went in and stabbed her. And now he's got 10 years. I don't know, maybe some sort of Christ. Where's he going to go? Hagerstown, Jessup, Smyrna.
Is that where people like this need to go, though? Like, do they need to go to, like, jail? This guy needs to go to a hospital.
Yeah.
Probably.
Bring back sanitariums.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Like,
okay. Let's not forget, guys, the lobotomy won a Nobel Prize. Let's just fucking, let's not throw everything out. Let's maybe look back.
So did ivermectin. Just want to throw that out there.
It's true.
Yeah. And George Washington implemented a goddamn mandate. All right, fucking idiots. Know your history.
Good point.
All right. Well, Murr, I think you know what time it is, brother.
That's right, my friends. It's officially time to learn yourself something. It is time for 5 fun facts for you fuckers. On a Friday, brought to you, of course, by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. You can find them on Facebook if you have any ailment below your knee and above your ankle and you're looking for a community of your fellow man or woman to sympathize with your ailment and give you bullshit treatments that are just homeopathic and have no medical credentials attached to them at all whatsoever. Find the Shin Splints Recovery Group online on Facebook. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers this Friday. Did you know herbs come from only the leaves of a plant, and spices are obtained from everything but the leaves?
The herb part makes sense because now that I think about it, any herb that I've cooked with or used in my culinary background, the spice I did not know. So what do they grind that all up?
Yeah. Just everything else. It's everything but the leaves. So it was basically, I mean, this is the entrepreneurial spirit at its core right there. It's like, what do we do with the rest of the shit? Grind it up. But what do we call it? Spice. Like they just gave it another name. They didn't call it trash. No, people are going to see through that. I'll call it spice. So I don't know. I don't know. Is there a quote unquote flavor that is both an herb and a spice that I'm unaware of?
Maybe a Spice Girl, probably one of the Posh or one of the other 4 that I don't know the name of.
I literally just realized yesterday we were driving and if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Nothing lasts forever. Friendship never ends. That came on and I started thinking about the Spice Girls. And then I realized that Ginger Spice was just the redhead of the group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she posted nude a lot for like page 3, some sort of British tabloid thing.
Page 6.
A friend of mine told me that. I never had the option to look it up, but you can check a lot of like that out. No, so and the funny thing you mentioned this is probably like an old thing where nothing goes to waste. You know what I mean? We have to utilize everything. We're earthers. That's not what they're called, but that's what I'll call them. I do remember this pretty well in like a world history class in middle school when they said English folk or people from England or the UK were traveling. The spice trade in like India and some sort of like parts of Asia was really, it was great. These people were traveling this far to get spices to bring back to England, which I think goes along with the line of what Alan has said, is that white people don't know how to season their food.
I think a lot of white colonialism stems from just trying to season chicken.
You're not wrong.
Latest chicken just fucking, it's boiled. Look at these unsuspecting brown folk. Let's go cough on them and eat their fucking curried chicken. It's better this way.
Well, I watched, it was an episode of like one of Gordon Ramsay's 5 television shows, and he was in India, and he's just like, the best thing that ever happened to British food was coming to India and taking the spices, because British food was bland and nothingness until we got this. And I was like, holy shit, like that may actually be the only reason the British took over the entire like subcontinent of India, is because they just wanted better food. That's it.
We're taking all this stuff with us, and we're gonna rule this land, and while we're at it, you're gonna drive on the right side of the road. All right, fuck you, good day. Yeah. That's. You think that was the parting gift?
Yeah, 100%.
And while you're at it, here's cricket. You'll be better than us at it in a few hundred years.
It does kind of like command the Indian Ocean and all that stuff from a naval standpoint. But yeah, they were totally like, yo, look at this fucking curry powder and fucking cumin and look at all this shit. We don't have this shit. We just boil our shit in bean water, and that's it. That's what we got. It's fucking England.
But, and I'm not defending the ancestors of the past or anything, but if you live on a chunk of land that is dreary and rainy and only grows like root plants, like edible roots, you might go a little batshit crazy for some fucking spice and seasonings.
Yeah.
You might go a little nuts for some herbs.
Someone having like a thimbles full in their palm and be like, "Hey, take a whiff of this." And you think God put that on there for you? Like, wow, oh God, is that drugs? No, sir, that's cumin. Oh, I swear it tastes like drugs. Smells like drugs.
It's like drugs. Yeah. It's wild. I don't know.
I mean, to that point, they were like flavoring their ground meat with shit by shoving it inside of intestines and frying it. That was their flavoring.
Yeah.
God,
they're making stuff out of blood. Like, man, English cuisine's dismal.
Dog shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, you can get a fucking hell of a Indian food over in England. I tell you that much.
It's Indian,
had delicious Indian food
and Afghan, Afghani food.
Yeah,
it's pretty prevalent.
Because it's the greatest hits. Like if you're English and you go down there and you're in this like cornucopia of amazing cuisine, and you're like, okay, that shit, that's good. But their shit's better than your best thing. And then you just take the best of what they have because you've pillaged and you own them now. And of course it's going to be amazing. God.
I think I took this. I made the mistake. I was finishing up a soccer tournament in Latrobe Park, and across the street is a place called the Himalayan House. Love it. It's Nepalese and Indian. Went over there, ordered like a dinner entree, dinner combo, and they have spice levels. And I was like, man, what? Can you give me kind of? I like stuff spicy. Can you give me a ranking? He was like, my man, you like do you like a white person spicy or Indian person spicy? I was like, wow. I feel like this is a trick question. He's like, no, you tell me what you like. And I was like, bro, give me the Indian person spicy. I'm gonna tell you, I have a palate.
He's like, nah.
I have a palate for hot food. I wasn't in tears, but that was tough to get down. That was extremely tough. I had to drink about 6 beers in order to start feeling somewhat less like. It was delicious. Won't do that.
Yeah,
again,
the right answer was, Wes,
white person spicy.
I want the upper level of white person spicy.
Yeah, I know now. I know that's the case. But man, if you're ever in town, Himalayan House, fucking.
I had the same experience recently with some pad thai.
Oh yeah,
there was like 4 levels, and I was like, well, I mean, fucking level 2 should be fine. I told you, there's fucking 2 more levels. Nope. Fucking got that shit, and I was like, oh, fuck. I smashed it, but I drank 64 ounces of water while doing it. Like, it was fucking brutal.
You should have got
so good. It was delicious.
You should have got a Scotch and milk to
should have got a Scotch and milk. I would have fucking cut it right out. I was just sweating too. Like Kelly was like, "Are you about to have a heart attack?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm just fucking dripping."
Did you know there's a massive chunk of the universe that's nearly empty? The Great Void is a spheroid of space with very few galaxies that spans an area of 300 million light years. It's so big that if the Milky Way were in the center of it, we wouldn't have known that there were other galaxies until the 1960s.
True.
So this is nothingness. No, somehow after the Big Bang, the universe continues to expand. Somehow this pocket that's 300, which is a 300 million light years, I'll say circumference or length or whatever. What did they catch a wind draft or something? Some sort of blockade that had it go around it or something? Who the hell knows, right?
Well, I always think about anything like there's like the slow-mo guys on YouTube and they just blow stuff up. And if you really watch, if they put a firecracker or an M80 in the middle of a watermelon, there's going to be a weird dispersion of stuff. And there's going to be a blank spot. And so there's one of these in the universe. And and the whole point of that is that 300 million light years across, if we were in the center of that, where the Earth is, that light from other galaxies would only have just been entering our focal point in the 1960s.
So, I mean, assuming we'd have a light, we would have the sun, but there would be no stars until the 60s.
There would be the closest galaxy to us is Andromeda.
Yeah.
Its light wouldn't have been able to reach us
until the 60s.
Until that point, even though we're 14.6 billion years old.
So, in theory, what happens when something, I don't know, it's something that's traveling in space, does the gravity just push it away? Obviously it's not like some ceiling or some sort of, hard stop or something where, say an asteroid's traveling towards it.
Okay.
Does it have its own gravity? If it's nothing?
An asteroid, it would just have its own velocity and it would just continue, but it wouldn't be pushed or pulled by anything. So at that point, it would just continue that path. So an asteroid won't change trajectory until it is gravitationally pulled by something else. So whatever's in that void, if it enters the void, it's just going in a straight line till it gets to the other side.
Okay. Damn. 300 million light years.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I wonder if that's a result of a black hole dying or something.
That's a good point.
During the formation of that portion of the universe, you know what I'm saying? So nothing was able to form and then the black hole died and just left a void.
That is probably the right answer now that I think about it. Yeah. But then
the black hole has to have died because there's nothing there.
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. The black hole would be dead. I don't know what happens when black holes die though. So
do they? I don't know.
I don't know. This is above my pay grade.
I know. I'm having a tough time figuring out what is nothing. So it's kind of blowing my mind here.
And you're not wrong because apparently, according to astrophysics, nothing is something. And it's fucking it. That's why when everybody poo-poos alien life forms and things of that nature or civilizations far superior to our own, I'm like, we don't know a goddamn thing about. We know less about nothing than there is to know about anything. It's fucking incredible.
That's a good point.
That makes sense, even if you break down those words. Did you know Chewbacca's voice is made from a mix of real animal sounds, including various sick animals? Bears, a lion, a seal, a badger, and a moaning walrus from a Long Beach facility that was not happy about being stuck at the bottom of his pool when it was drained for cleaning.
Jesus, what did some music director for George Lucas just hodgepodge these all stoned one day? Be like, hey, look, I think I got the perfect mix.
Yeah, it was John fucking Williams, too.
It was what?
It was John fucking Williams too.
Yeah.
Yeah, multi-Oscar winner.
Do you know what the lightsaber, or not the lightsaber, but the laser blasters? Do you know what that sound is?
God, George Lucas farting.
I knew this.
So you know the metal cords that come down from a telephone pole to make sure it doesn't lean one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Homeboy just literally put a microphone up like less than a centimeter away from it and just started tapping on it with a hammer. Kind of like if you put your ear up to a slinky and just tap it.
Yeah,
that's the sound of the laser blasters.
So what? How did the sick animals come into play? Did this music director catch wind that sick animals make funky noises? Like, oh God, that bear that has pneumonia sounds really weird. Let's record it for future use.
I actually watched a documentary about the making of Star Wars, and this was like a 5-minute section of it. And the notes that a sick animal makes are minors, whereas a healthy animal's notes are more in the major range. Okay. So like A major versus A minor, there's a sadness to an A minor. So yes, there's a sadness to their voices.
I think I'm just not necessarily baffled. I marvel at the craftsmanship of this musician to pull how many animals? You routed off like 7 or 8. All of them sick. All of them making these moans and be like, all right, this is going to make this big furry animal that is going to be a companion of Han Solo.
Well, and from the documentary, they wanted him to sound like more gentle. And so like they didn't want him to sound like aggressive all the time. Mm-hmm. So if you get a sick animal, it sounds more comforting, I guess. You know, like there's less bass in the voice.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That's why these people are geniuses and we're middle class holes.
Yes, it is. Did you know young female chimps use sticks and Young female chimps use sticks as dolls and care for them as babies. The discovery of this behavior is the first example of wild animals of both sexes playing with objects in different ways, which suggests that the preference of feminine or masculine toys is biological and not learned. This is dangerous territory, friends.
Yeah, man. I did not know that. I did not know that they use sticks. If you were to tell me that young female, did you say chimps or just apes in general?
Chimps
were to do that, my guess it would be an adolescent with a younger, was anxious to do that, getting to sexual maturity. But no, I mean, that makes sense because again, yeah, but a lot of young girls enjoy the dolling. What do you call that?
Or do they, or is that learned, Wesley? Is that learned?
I don't know. Not according to what you just said. You know what I learned?
Just said?
I learned burning ants, bro. That's what I learned.
Yeah, not a lot of girls getting magnifying glasses out to set fucking anthills on fire.
No. I don't think that's commonplace.
Yeah. Not saying it doesn't happen.
It might not be commonplace amongst people in general.
Yeah. I didn't really qualify it with any one group. It wasn't commonplace for anyone. It's just you.
You never burned ants with a magnifying glass or anything?
No, I never burned them. I mean, I stomped them out a lot. Or I would just I'd kill I'd lay on the ground just one by one, just kill them.
See, I feel like that's actually worse than what we did. At least ours was a science experiment. Yours was just like brute disaster force.
Yeah, that's just murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what do you make of these young female chimps being dolls, being feminine and being natural born caregivers?
I mean,
it's very interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
that's very it. That's all you're gonna give?
No, it's. I mean, I would like to see more of the research on it, but it's interesting. I mean, there's obviously a biological component to gender and fucking how we behave, but I don't know. It's interesting to see how that plays out in a different species. It's interesting.
I find it fascinating that there is a denial of some of these things are currently happening in the world, and that it should be pretty obvious. And I'm almost like kind of queasy to even bring that up. I brought it up purposefully, obviously, as a Fun Fact Friday fact, but there are people willing to deny this simple fact, which actually makes sense. You made sense of it better than I did. Is that like adolescent chimps, they know they're going to be impregnated soon, and they're just kind of like they're playing their way through the process,
right? Which
makes 100% sense.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about
that. I heard an interesting fact not too long ago about not fish but mammals. That because we not only do we come from chimps, but all of our ancestors, and when I'm talking about like that biological group, that I don't know, is it phylum? Is it a genus? Whatever. We all came from the sea, mammals swimming around, and they said it's like at a certain breaking point, one of them just decided like, nope, land's for me. I'm getting out of this water. We're gonna get on land, and evolved over thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I just don't find that. I don't know if that was necessarily a cognitive thought, more or less, or like unless water dried up and they had no choice, or they got locked in. They couldn't get out to a bigger body of water, and they had to kind of adapt to. Or
maybe
like
it was
beach.
that sweet Indian spice, and they were like, I ain't going back to that bland ass plankton bullshit.
I mean, have you? I know Wes, you explained it so eloquently, but have you guys heard? I haven't watched a lot of South Park, so I think that's why it comes back to this. But have you guys heard Mrs. Garrison's explanation of evolution previously?
No.
Is this when he was like he was like half dolphin as well, or?
No, he wasn't half dolphin yet. He was just a woman.
Okay.
But staunchly against teaching evolution in the schools. If you can give me the share, I will. I'll write it. It's not long, and it's pretty incredible.
All right, you got it.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Got to get past this Liberty Mutual commercial. Emu and Doug.
Speaking of evolution, God.
All right.
So, Emu. God.
And Doug. All right. So here we go.
Like this.
Oh.
We'll cut this in post. Don't worry, brother.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, we won't.
Sorry about that.
It goes something like this. In the beginning, we were all fish, okay? Swimming around in the water. And then one day, a couple of fish had a retard baby. And the retard baby was different, so it got to live. So retard fish goes on to make more retard babies. And then one day, a retard baby fish crawled out of the ocean with its mutant fish hands. And it had butt sex with a squirrel or something and made this retard frog squirrel. And then that had a retard baby, which was a monkey fish frog. And then this monkey fish frog had butt sex with that monkey. And that monkey had a mutant retard baby that screwed another monkey. And that made you. So there you go. You're the retarded offspring of 5 monkeys having butt sex with a fish squirrel. Congratulations. And it goes something like,
yeah. There you go. I'm sure there's a lot of probably copyright infringement.
That's fine. There is probably literally nothing scientifically inaccurate about what was said there. It's just the way it was said. That may be the most articulate, simplistic way of explaining evolution that I've ever heard.
Miss Garrison is so against teaching it that's basically what it gets to when she finally does teach it.
That's amazing.
And it's great.
And finally, did you know 70% of managers are making their teams worse? Gallup scientists have found that companies are hiring the wrong people to be managers or supervisors 82% of the time, wasting time and money and causing their employees to become disengaged. Was that on your test, Wesley?
No, I don't know. First of all, Gallup is part of the man and part of the culture, and I think they create fake professional surveys in order, or actually results of surveys in order to pander to insecurities within. I'm not a part of that 70%. I don't know if that's what the fuck you were getting at. No way, no shot. I get things done in time and sometimes ahead of budget and schedule. Fuck you.
No, I just wanted to throw it out there. I mean, I know that, managers are usually demonized because they're the buck stops with them, but they tend to pass the buck along. So I just wanted to see if
you said managers.
Yes.
I'm a project manager. It's different. I'm not a manager. Totally different.
Dummy.
Gotta learn the lingo, bro.
Well, what do you manage? You manage the project, which is managed by people.
I mean, there's an element there. Again, we talked about this. There's resources, but I'm not
manages resource.
I'm not managing a process. I'm managing a project. Yeah. Totally different. Yeah. Totally different.
His resources could be human.
Mm-hmm.
Could also be, just some equipment.
Right. Yeah.
Managed by humans.
It depends. It depends if the client opts for that yearly option of oversight. Sometimes we sell it. Sometimes we don't.
I like. No, I'm actually really fascinated by the pushback here. This is this is kind of fun.
Like I'm a project manager, sir. This is how project managers are.
I manage the project.
That's right.
Then they come to the sales guy griping about something, and the sales guy's like, I don't know, fucking figure it out. I already did my job. Get
Here's
out
the
of
thing,
here.
Wes. I'm on Team Wes here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I do think you're in that minuscule 20 some percent. Okay, like I can see you being a reasonable human to talk to. I can also see you being very unreasonable in the right scenario.
It's true,
and I think you should own that. And I think managers that own their shortcomings and also own their accomplishments, I think those make the best managers because they understand people.
Yeah, well, what I learned from my recent test taking is that there's a certain type of manager, and I fall into the category as servant, meaning about 75 to 80% of the time I'm willing to compromise, but there's some times where I gotta, the buck stops here. Fuck you. We're not doing that dumb shit. I don't say it like that, of course. I'm like, hey, excuse me. Hey, look, gotta run something by you.
15% of the time when you call me, I get to be like, go fucking figure it out, idiot. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. And then like 50%, you're just like, hey, no, man. Need your help on this, and I'm like, God damn it! All right.
What I will say is, when I was working at Anne Arundel Medical Center, Gallup they hired Gallup to do a survey for what was it? Workplace satisfaction. There's what it was. Everyone had to take it. Every department then got broken up to see your results, and you had to pick one thing that you as a department scored low in, and then you said, we're going to make a goal or a process in order to fix this thing. Okay. And we had a few things in our department that we scored low in, but one of which someone brought up was, I don't have a workplace best friend. Like, well, that could be one. I was like, listen, I'm not doing that. Like, what do you mean? I was like, listen, I love, you guys are great people. I enjoy, in terms of what I look for as a professional, you guys fit the criteria. It's great. We go out to happy hour from time to time. My best friends are the people that I share life experiences with and secrets that I have no business sharing with you, and I will never fucking tell you. Sorry. None of you are ever going to be my best friend. And they were like, wow, God, that was blunt. I was like, I don't want to do it. Let's pick another one. I don't want to be your best friends.
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta do it sometimes.
I do think there's a difference between like best friends and workplace best friends.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps that if they, I don't know. I didn't want to get into that one. I don't want to be best friends with the people I work with.
Well, you as a project manager shouldn't be best friends with really. You should be good. You can be good friends. You maybe you establish a best friend, but like, Yeah, that's but everybody needs a friend at work. Okay? And if you don't have one, then you're probably going to find an early patch of dirt to find yourself in.
First of all, this wasn't when I was a project manager, but that's irrelevant. I also am against the workplace husband or workplace wife. I don't know. That's always been fucking weird to me. Like that's my work husband. Like, okay, so you go home to a husband to tell your husband about the male counterpart that you work with all the time because you're professionals and you have the same type of gripes and grifts and headbutting arguments and things like that, and you need to tell me about it. Like, what? Or the same thing. Like, that's my work wife. She's right all the time too. Fucking dumb shit. So stupid.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday. And another fun fact, I was saying there might be a drink with Pepto-Bismol earlier, and there is the
Okay.
there is the Pepto-Bismopolitan. It's 2 measures of vodka, 1 measure of Pepto-Bismol, 5 measures of lime juice, and 1 measure of cranberry juice. Shake over ice until your arm is sore. Strain into a chilled cocktail glass and garnish with a lime wedge.
I gotta tell you,
Probably gets all frothy.
Yeah. No, actually, it looks. I mean, it's pink and it looks pretty good. By the way, Pepto. I like the taste of Pepto.
yeah, you want to batch it with lime juice in your fucking vodka and see where it happens. See what happens.
I'll try it. I don't have any vodka in the house currently, but next week I will buy myself a nice bottle of Tito's and I'll make myself a Pepto-Bismopolitan. Tell you how it goes.
All right, we can't wait. Alan, where can you find us, my man?
Oh, our good listeners, you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. Of course, you can find us on Facebook at The Middle Classholes. And for your streaming pleasure, of course, we're streamable on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And as always, we love a good email, a good old-fashioned email correspondence. You can send those to tickleourtummies@gmail.com. That's right, tickleourtummies. That's plural, multiple tummies @gmail.com.
And what, Murr? We got 2 this week, yeah?
Yes, we did. Yes. Well, Alan, way to pick up on 2 being plural. You definitely hit that home. But we also got plural emails this week as well. One comes from one Dewey Neal Fox, also known as Brother Love Fox. Dear assholes.
His middle name is Neil?
Yes.
That's great. I think it worked.
I only know that because to be an asshole back when we were working at the same rest stop on I-95, he got, just to be a dick, he got his name badge as D. Neal Fox. So he was D. Neal Fox. And so that's the only reason I know Brother Dewey Love's middle name. Dear assholes, I just wanted to get a few things straight regarding the anecdote from your last episode where MJ, we called him Joseph's. If we're not going to, we don't care.
No, we're fine.
We'll expose anyone. Where he got kicked in the face by his Russian girlfriend. Here's the real sequence. After he said something ignorant to her while blackout drunk, she punched him in the face, then kicked him in the back when he fell down, but she was wearing some of those super pointy high heel shoes. Then she took all the money out of his wallet so she'd have cab fare home. I was there the next evening when he lumbered out of his bedroom at 6 p.m. with a shiner and a big gash on his back saying, I think I got mugged last night. Someone had to tell him that he'd gotten pieced up by his girlfriend and not robbed. What's really funny is that he was wearing a beret when he came out of his room. Eyes swollen shut, no shirt, French beret. He was a strange creature. If you have an extra minute, here's another good one. After drinking all day, Joseph emerged from his room and insisted on coming to Wawa with me and some other guys. He was wearing a Hugh Hefner smoking jacket, and we thought some boxer shorts or some gym shorts or something underneath. But no, it wasn't until he reached up for something that we realized he had nothing underneath. I had half a mind to leave him there instead of getting arrested for indecent exposure. Basically, he was reaching up, and his dick was hanging out from underneath of his smoking jacket. So for a bunch of 21-year-olds, it was unusually compassionate to lead someone like that out of a store.
Stories from the past. We love it. If you have more, email us at Tickle Our Tummies, pluralized, IMES, at gmail.com. Well, folks, we appreciate it. Happy, I don't know, celebrate yourselves. 9/11 coming up in a couple days. 20 years.
9/11 anniversary.
What's that?
This is the
Happy
strangest.
9/11 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
It's the strangest. We do the worst, like, in memoriam, sentimentality bullshit that's ever occurred.
We are terrible at it.
Like this is one like I'm like genuine about. And just like
I'm just saying, remember 9/11. It was a fucking tragic day. I don't know why I did the salute, but I just, it seemed fitting. Sorry, what do you want me to do? Cry?
Just not even mention it. That's usually the best option.
Fair enough. Hey,
show.
folks, I take back what I said. Listen, fall's upon us. Get yourself some Bud Light seltzers. There's a variety pack that's we hear it's fucking excellent, and we want to hear your thoughts.
We'll read we'll read Farmer Jenky's.
Another one from Farmer Jenky. Yeah, hell yeah. Come on, fire away.
Oh, you want this one? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to read this one in a Slackjaw accent. Hi boys, it's old me again. So on that pornography subject, I was talking to my wife Mary about our deepest love and how it'll never be broken. So we decided, just like if you went to a professional planner of some sort to make a backup plan, like you young folk call it. This is all over the place, by the way. Off note, I'm not sure why my financial advisor says to back up my files, but our cabinets are flush against the wall now. What does that even mean?
Farmer Jenky may have had a Scotch and milk. I don't know.
Anyway, I told Mary we'd clone our private bits and hold on to them in case anything happened. I think this way she can take comfort knowing I'm comforted when we meet again. I sometimes amaze myself with these beautiful ideas. I might not be able to pass my magnificent brain on to science, but I can pass on other important things. Anyway, my question this time will be rings. Do people still go big? Also, do you remember not only the video rental stores and the adult section where dads would be able to say, hey, I got to grab some milk. I'll be back, sonny. You'll get your own milk someday. And then they vanished.
So he's saying wedding rings are too extravagant, and
yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So let's see. The three basic things I found is instead of like creating like a living will where they get any kind of like real assets from their significant other when they die, is that they've actually made molds of their genitalia so the other one can fuck the other one even in death. And then he's asking, are going big on wedding rings still a thing? And do you remember what I will call the beaded section of the porn stores?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the cloning of your genitalia, great idea. If they can pull it off, hell yeah, why not? Christ, a man injected semen with a hypodermic needle into a woman here in our backyard. So your idea is not that far-fetched. Yes, people are going too big with wedding rings. Middle-class men are putting themselves in way too much debt in order to please another woman. And it's getting out of hand and people are spending way too much money. Yes, I remember the beaded section. As a matter of fact, my father, and I've said this on the podcast before, used to kick me to the curb and tell me to go look at the wrestling videos while he went back there and looked for Super Jugs 3 or Dicks and Chicks and something like that. Yes.
I agree with everything you just said there. I do think leaving behind an anatomically correct dildo in death would be the ultimate mind fuck for your significant other, and ultimate well, maybe not the ultimate, but
second fiddle
second fiddle in the living world. As far as like rings go, this is one spot where I think the woke culture could really take over and be like, hey, I love you, we're gonna spend the rest of our lives together. Why would we bankrupt our savings account at this time? So let's just get something sensible. And if we're still together in 20 years, we can upgrade.
Yeah.
And then as far as the beaded section, yeah, that was always great. I've shared the story on the podcast before of seeing a buddy's dad coming out of the beaded section and just giving me that like really embarrassed, like, shut up, like look in his eye as he walked by me. So yeah, all fantastic points somehow made by Farmer Jenke.
I thought I saw a friend in there. I wanted to go say what's up. Wasn't looking around.
Definitely not. No, the beaded section was a mythical place to me. You know, I didn't turn old enough to go back in there before they had gone the way of the dodo bird. So, you know, kind of missed out. But hey, it is what it is. What were the other things? I lost track. So many fucking
expensive wedding rings and cloning your dick.
Oh, so yeah, I got a fucking dick replica in the safe deposit box already. So. I don't know if you guys aren't planning for your wives' futures. I don't know what you're doing, but I am. And yeah, giant wedding rings. Yeah, it's a little much. I mean, I say that as a guy, like Kelly's was custom made, but I also didn't pay an arm and a leg for it. Like it was, I found a good custom jeweler that kind of helped us out. Also, she went off the wall, which saved me some money with like chocolate diamonds and shit. So, but yeah, don't do it. It's fucking. Also, you know what? Don't even have giant weddings. Just go fucking save all that money and go do something cool. Buy a house. Don't even buy a house. I don't even believe in it personally. Fucking, I don't know. Go travel to fucking Greece or something. Fucking go see what you know, Warsaw Shore is like. Apparently, I heard that that's a thing now, like the Jersey Shore, but in Poland. So you know, lots of things you could do.
Go to India and smell some aromatic spices. Change your life.
Go to India and order an English breakfast. See what happens.
Shit. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate your time. As always, check us out on your social media networks, yada, yada, yada. Me. Good night.
Happy 9/11.
Hey, and yeah, actually,
Happy 9/11.
if you get caught manufacturing, distributing, or purchasing a fake COVID card, you're a piece of shit, and I hope your nipples get ripped off in a horrible bicycle accident. Good night.